All right, today we are going to be looking at Chapter 5, Section 3, Life West of the Mississippi River. When we look at the map west of the Mississippi River, what we will notice is most of the cities are not close together. The cities with stars are the capital cities of each state, but the other cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco and Portland and Tacoma and Seattle and Washington State are not the capital of each state, but they are very important cities. We will notice that they are not close together at all. So these cities and these states, they rely heavily on the transportation system of the interstate highway. They rely heavily on cars. There are no trains, there are no subways that can transport you from major city to major city. So the automobile is very important west of the Mississippi. The region has many ports. Los Angeles and Long Beach, California, are essentially one large port. They handle more than half of the value of all imports into the United States that come through Pacific ports. San Diego, San Francisco in California, and Seattle and Tacoma in Washington are also vital with trade with Asian nations. Although only a small part of the region is located along the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf ports, 3 of the nation's top 10 ports in terms of yearly value goods that they handle are in Texas. Houston, Beaumont, and Corpus Christi are all cities that are very important and vital to trade. And when I say that they are only a small portion that are part of the western part of the United States, we are talking about the fact that we actually have a split from Louisiana and Texas. So only this area is considered to be western United States in relationship to the Gulf of Mexico. Now, these cities west of the Mississippi have great diversity. Los Angeles, for example, is the nation's second largest city and home to people who collectively speak about 90 different languages other than English. Los Angeles County has more Latinos and Native Americans than any other county in the United States. In Los Angeles, in many of the cities and states that are along the Pacific coast are home to large Asian populations that have immigrated from their Pacific Asian nations. Denver has an unusual location for a major city. It is not a seaport or on a navigable part of a river. Denver owes its vibrance to the mountains nearby. It originally grew as a mining town. In the late 1990s, the city attracted people who wanted to enjoy the mountains. Its economy is based on software, finance, and communications. Some of the nation's most rapidly growing cities are in the interior of the United States west of the Mississippi. They include Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Phoenix, Arizona. In Texas, the location of San Antonio, Dallas, and Fort Worth near Mexico make them important to trade with that country. The region attracts new residents because of the mild climate and the growing businesses. But more people mean more strains on natural resources such as water, which is already a scarce resource in much of the region. In the early 1990s, 3 nations signed a trade agreement called the North American Free Trade Agreement. Today, Canada and Mexico are the largest markets for exports from the United States. They are also second and third largest source of U.S. imports behind China. Open borders help trade. They also make it possible for people to enter the country illegally. In the late 1990s, the problem of illegal immigrants drew a great deal of attention. The U.S. government has taken steps to reduce the flow of illegal immigrants. These efforts had some success. Illegal immigration dropped from about 550,000 people in 2005 to about 300,000 people in 2008. Changes in Mexico also explain this reduction. A better economy, smaller families, and better education have meant better chances of landing good jobs in Mexico. Most of the United States west of the Mississippi usually receives little rain. Years of low rainfall can easily lead to a drought. Between the 1930s and 1940s, a severe drought dried the southern Great Plains so thoroughly that crops died. Strong winds carried dry soil away, covering other areas with dust. This area became called the Dust Bowl. Many farmers lost their homes and left the area looking for work. The Dust Bowl resulted in new practices in land use and farming. These practices were intended to reduce the chance of another Dust Bowl. Nevertheless, usually low rainfall for several years could cause the same effects in the future. The lack of water is more of a challenge because of the growing population. As more and more people settle in the area, more water is needed. When farmers expand their operation, they also need more water. This strains the limited amount of water present in the region, which could limit economic growth. Erosion is another environmental problem in this region. Harvesting trees for lumber has left some mountain slopes bare. With no tree roots to hold the soil in place, soil runs off with the rain. This runoff affects the surface of the mountain. Pieces of the mountain become smaller pieces and go down the side. Erosion of the rich topsoil, the fertile soil that the crops depend on to grow, is the problem in some farming areas. This region west of the Mississippi also experiences other natural disasters, such as volcanoes, wildfires, and earthquakes. The economy. Modern-day agriculture. The Great Plains are the center of the nation's wheat industry, with 8 of the nation's top wheat producers in the states. Other important crops in the Great Plains include cotton, corn, hay, sorghum, and grain. Cattle and sheep ranching are major activities for Montana and New Mexico. Today, the number of small family farms in the region is declining. They are being replaced with larger, commercially run farms, which are farms that rely on machines and advanced technologies to mass produce the crop or the cattle. Mining the region's vast resources remains a vital part of its economy. Oil and gas fields in the southern plains, Wyoming, and Southern California provide energy. Mines in Montana provide copper. Colorado Plateau provides uranium, and the Northwest is still a major producer of timber. The aerospace industry remains important in Southern California around Seattle, although the industry has declined in recent years. Taking its place has been the computer industry. The first area to experience rapid growth from this field was California's Silicon Valley. Today, this is the center of computer research and manufacturing, in addition to areas such as Texas, Washington, and the growth of computer technology has spawned other industries. Software and information science companies are based in the same areas that are home to computer manufacturers. Utah and Colorado have also become important in these fields. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Denver, Dallas, and Seattle have become major financial centers. Telecommunications, including the telephone and related services, is an important industry in Denver and in Dallas. Over time, new industries have focused on tertiary economic activities such as retail sales, entertainment, and tourism. Visitors flock to the area to see soaring mountains, stunning rock formations, and dense forests. They enjoy unusual features like Alaska's glaciers and Hawaii's tropical beaches. The region in the western part of the United States includes some of the most visited national parks in the country. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please email me at myvazaj@nhsd.net or my Mr. Vaza at students.nhsd.net, or you can post to Google Classroom to get a fast response. If you do post to Google Classroom into the homepage, it will actually send an update to my iPad that will notify me that you have posted a comment. In addition to that, the comments can be viewed by all of the students in the class. So if you do have a question and I respond back to you, not only am I answering your question, I can answer questions for everyone in the class that may have that same exact question. Thank you again.